Hey guys, good afternoon. This morning I actually did something with my hair today and I tried to do it a little bit differently. I split it into 3 layers. Did I say hey guys, no, I said good afternoon. I split it into 3 layers and so that I can try and take some of the frizz out of it, because when it dries it just gets very big down here. So this time what I did was 3 layers and I put gel and anti-frizz on each layer so that hopefully it wouldn't get that big, and so far so good. It still has a little bit of drying in the back to do, but so far so good. And the weather outside is beautifully crisp right now. Like, you definitely need either, like, you couldn't stay outside for unless you were moving for too long without getting a little bit chilly. It's like mid 60s, I feel, low 60s, something like that. So I just got done at the post office. I picked up a package, which I will open, from Madison Francis. I think I know what these are though. I think she messaged me and told me. I am fairly certain that they are head wraps or head bows. Yes. So her name's either Mila or Mila. I'm assuming Mila. Mila's Ruffles. They have a Facebook page. Yeah, she messaged me and told me she was gonna send me some of these. Oh my gosh, how freaking cute! Look at those headbands. Oh my goodness. So this is a purple one with a ruffly bow. Oh, I love this one. This is a floral one. How pretty. Thank you so much, Madison. I think it was your mom that messaged me, but oh my gosh, I love that. Look at how cute that is. I will leave a link to her shop down below, or her Facebook page down below. That was so sweet. I love those. Those are so cute. I've been using a whole bunch of different kind of bows with Everly than I did with Autumn and with Maddie. And, oh, that poor baby almost went flying. And they seem to work for her head shape, so I'm excited to try these because it has like the thick band. With Maddie I use the really skinny bands, and with Autumn I use like the medium bands but with the big flowers. So I'm really excited to try those. Thank you, that was so sweet. So now I packed up everything in the car, dropped off cookies to my mom, so I got that out of the house. I still have some cookies at home, and now I have a little surprise for the big girls. They had a half day today, so I picked them up early. Yay! I need to go pick up Autumn a little bit early too. We are going to meet my brother and Melissa and the boys at the bounce house and let them go jump for the afternoon to hang out a little bit. I can't wait. Jumpy. And then we're gonna go home. Emmy said I'm speechless. Then we're gonna go home and have dinner and chill the rest of the night. I have an assignment due tomorrow and I work tomorrow, so I'm gonna try and work on it tonight. But I had to come to the post office. I had to mail out nails. I had an Etsy order that I needed to mail out. So got that done. Check, check.
Thank you, Mommy.
You're welcome, baby. Now I'm gonna go get, you're welcome. Now I'm gonna go get Autumn and we're gonna head to the bounce house. Autumn? Oh my God, he just fell off. Did you see him? Are y'all playing with the kitchen? Happy birthday, bud.
Thank you.
Autumn. Autumn, you're not supposed to be back there, Mama. You're not supposed to be back there, baby. You gotta stay on this side, okay? Oh my gosh, they have baby jumpers. How cute. Look, they have baby jumpers. You're too big for that.
Everything can probably do it.
No, she's too little right now. We are home from the bounce house. That was fun. The girls had a good time. I like that bounce house because, well, first off, it was super chill. I don't know if they're just not busy or what, but I like that bounce house because they have couches and So it made it really easy to feed Everly. The thing that I still would like to get though is a nursing cover-up, because the cover-up that I was using is actually part of her car seat and it's a little thick. So it works now, although we were inside. It was a little chilly in there. It works now, but I would like to really, so okay, here's what I was thinking. I have muslin cloths. I think that would be more appropriate. Like Melissa just held it up for me while I covered up and stuff and then laid it over her, and I left like a hole so she could breathe, and that's kind of what I've been doing. But I have muslin cloths for when it's a little bit hotter outside. Muslin blankets, not cloths, sorry. And I think that would probably be sufficient. The only thing is I had one of these with Maddie, and because I didn't breastfeed her very long, I pumped and gave her breast milk. I didn't ever use it, and I'm pretty sure I got rid of it. But I had one of those that go around your neck that have like a ring kind of around your chest. I'm thinking about maybe I should get one of those. I don't know. I don't know if it would even be worth it. I'm not out in public very much to need it. Most of the time I try and work my errands around what time she needs to eat, or if I'm at somebody's house or whatever, which I haven't even been. I mean, she's almost 8.5 weeks and I haven't even been anywhere else where I would really need to feed her other than when I'm away, like when I'm at work, and I bring my pump for that if I have time. So I don't know, I'm kind of like on the fence. I just try to wear, when I'm out and about, if I have to feed her, I try to wear things that are easy access, that can kind of, like this shirt is from Old Navy a while ago, and it's like loose fitting at the bottom. So it's easier to cover. I don't know, I mean, those of you that breastfed your babies in public, and I know there's like all kinds of mamas out there that either go to the extreme and like never want to breastfeed in public. They'll put themselves in the bathroom, or they have to, if they have to, like they don't want to show that part of them. And then there's some moms that just don't care at all, and they're like, I'm feeding my baby, I'm gonna do it whenever, wherever, however much is showing. In fact, my mom had a client the other day who, she was breastfeeding her older baby. He looked like maybe he was 8, 9, 10 months, something like that. And she didn't cover up at all. She just took off her top, like completely took off her top, and breastfed him right there at the desk. And I mean, technically there's nothing wrong with that. Nobody can tell you you can't feed your baby. I think it's just about comfort level. And for me, I think if I had solely breastfed Maddie and Autumn by Everly, I probably would have felt way more comfortable than I feel. But even though I'm so proud of myself for making it this far, considering it was such a journey with Maddie and Autumn that it died out very, very quickly, I'm super proud of myself. But I personally would rather be a little more covered up. That's just my own, like, no shade towards anybody that doesn't cover up. I could care less. If that mom had been at my desk, the only reason I know is because I walked by and I could see her naked. But if she had been at my desk, I'd have been like, go for it, girl, your baby's got to eat, he's got to eat, you know. Just my own personal preference, I would prefer to be covered a little bit. So I'm curious what those of you that breastfed for any length of time, what you did. Hi, Lodita. What you did when you were out in public. Did you just wear like nursing tops and discreetly breastfed, or did you use a cover or like a muslin blanket? You know, I'm just curious. So anyway, besides that, it was fun. We were there for about 3 hours. The girls had a good time. The boys had a good time. They were running around with each other, and it was a good little play date. Today is Logan's actual 5th birthday, even though we celebrated his birthday last weekend. Happy birthday to my little buddy. Can't believe he's 5. That's crazy. When we met him, he was like 1.5, 15 months, something like that. He wasn't very old. So that's crazy to me that he's already 5. Time flies. And what else? We came home. I had a bean burger. I had some leftover sweet potatoes and green beans, so I ate some of those. And I was really good with my points today. In fact, I have some points left over. I think I'm gonna have an Orville Smart Pop. That's 3 or 4 points a bag and call it a night. I'm currently on, I came downstairs, everyone is in bed. Hallelujah, I did it. Everyone was in bed by around 8:30. Emmy went to bed the latest because she was up and walking around with me and talking with me and stuff like that. And Maddie went to bed shortly before her. Autumn was the first one in bed. So I always try, I mean, Autumn's the youngest aside from Everly. Everly's not really on a schedule just yet. We're trying to head that direction, but she's not really there yet. So I try and have Autumn down first. She has typically the longest bedtime routine. She still needs help with brushing her teeth. She can do it and she can floss, but she doesn't do it as well as we would. So we still brush and help her floss, and then she has to brush and floss, or she usually does it first and then we go in behind her, so that's double that, you know. And then the big girls will either read a book with her, or we'll read a book with her, or sometimes she'll read a book to us, like her Dear Girl book. She loves that. And so sometimes they'll do that, and then oh shoot, I still need to edit. And then we sing songs. So she definitely has the longest bedtime routine out of the 3 of them. So I try and get her down first so I can focus my attention on her and I can do the things that make her happy at night and then be done with it. And then after her, the big girls I kind of lump together because they're big and they brush their teeth themselves, they take their teeth themselves, they go to the bathroom by themselves, you know, all that kind of stuff. They change into their own pajamas, and I really don't have any issues with them. So then what I'll usually do is tuck in Maddie, and Emmy's always last. She's the oldest, and on top of that, she's usually the most helpful when it comes to if I'm trying to put one of them to bed and I need something with Everly or whatever, she's usually the most helpful and the most, I mean, Maddie's super helpful too, and she's very willing to help. So I can't even say that Emmy's more helpful than Maddie. They're equally helpful. Emmy's just more capable of going to bed a little bit later and waking up at the same time. Maddie's not quite there yet. She really needs that extra little bit of sleep. So that's usually how we do nighttime routine, at least the last 8.5 weeks. That's what we've been doing. And then Everly today ended up eating right around a great time. I was feeding her. So I fed her on one side down here. She was still kind of fussy. So I took her upstairs and was feeding her on the other side, and then gave her formula because we do still supplement. Unfortunately, I just cannot seem to produce enough to save my life. Thank goodness for formula, because honestly she would starve if we didn't have formula, because I clearly am just not giving her enough. But I give her what I can. When I can, I feed her as often as she wants to feed. So, and I always start with breastfeeding before we supplement, but it is what it is. So I was giving her her bottle, fed her on the right side, gave her her bottle while the girls were reading. And so that was perfect timing, and she laid down, and I could tell she was tired because she was like really stimulated today. This computer's running very, very slow. She was really stimulated today, and she didn't get good naps hardly at all. So she went down pretty quickly. Now I do anticipate her being awake probably between 11 and 12 to eat again before she goes down for the night, and then I probably won't be up with her again until between 5 and 6:30 or so, which is fine. Tomorrow's Saturday, so I work tomorrow though, so the earlier I feed her, really, the more feedings I can get in before I have to leave for work. Anyway, those of you that could care less about feeding schedules and stuff like that, I have an assignment that's due tomorrow night, and I haven't started it. Procrastinator, always. And so I'm gonna start it right now. Andres still has a couple hours left of work tonight, so I'm gonna try and knock this out before he gets home, or before Everly wakes up for her next feeding. So we'll see how that goes. Also, I had a number of you guys message me on Instagram. I was reading through the comments, and I got so many great suggestions for me feeling better about the house, like decluttering and organizing, stuff like that. And a huge, like the #1 suggestion was to swap the playroom and my office, which if you've been following me for a long time, you know, my office used to be down here. We used to have the computer down here. We had it in the kitchen at one point too, but I actually had an office where I filmed some videos in the very beginning. That's crazy to think about, in what is the formal dining room. And then as we started adding children, we used to have a loft upstairs. It's now Autumn's room and my office. We had a bunch of toys and stuff up there, and we kept that as like a workout room, office. And then once we started to accumulate more children, we've turned this into a playroom, and that's what it's been ever since. Now that we have 4 children, it's just becoming overwhelming down here. So I think I've come to the conclusion, Andres and I were talking about it today, and I really think, I'm positive we're gonna do it this next week. We're gonna swap. We're gonna downsize some of the toys, although we've downsized quite a bit. Open what hasn't been open, and kind of reorganize everything to go up in my office. No TV up there though, because the big girls have TVs in their room. Eventually Autumn will get one in her room, and if they want to watch TV, they can either watch it in the living room or up in their rooms. And then that way they have all their toys and everything up there. I think that'll be the best solution, and it's carpeted, and I think it'll work out really nicely. And then that way too, that'll solve my laptop issue. I'll have my computer down here, so when Everly's napping, or even if she naps in the room, in the crib eventually, my computer won't be right next to her, and I can edit and stuff in peace. And I just think it'll work out well. And then that way, we haven't quite decided if the treadmill is going to stay in there, and we haven't quite decided if we're going to move the couch back. Those 2 things are kind of up in the air, but we're definitely going to rearrange those 2 rooms. So thank you guys for the suggestion. It's not that it hadn't crossed my mind before. I've thought about it. We actually discussed it at one point, but we never followed through with it, and it just stayed a playroom. But honestly, it gets very overwhelming for me. And it didn't used to be overwhelming. If you've been following me for a long time, before we got the banisters, I don't know, I feel like we got the banisters within the last 4 years. I think I was pregnant with Autumn, actually. There used to be walls, like half walls there. And it didn't feel overwhelming to me, the playroom, when we had the half walls, because you couldn't see through them. You couldn't see the wreck when you were walking up the stairs unless you leaned over the railing. Now you can see straight through it, so it bothers me more. Every time I walk by there, it's like such an eyesore, and stuff gets thrown everywhere. And so that's the plan. We're going to do that this next week. We're going to declutter a little bit, swap those things out. I'm going to declutter my office a tiny bit, especially now that I'm not really into my Etsy shop anymore. I'm going to kind of rearrange some stuff, and we have 2 printers up there. I'm going to get rid of one, you know, just like things like that. And I think that'll help quite a bit. We also are going to look for a large area rug in the living room. I really would like a fluffier rug that, or not even necessarily a fluffy rug, just a larger rug that goes under the couch and extends all the way out to where the bassinet is, to cover more of the wood floor, to possibly allow the chair not to move, not to slide on the wood floor, because that's a big problem right now, and just to switch it up a little bit. I don't want to get rid of the couch. We love this couch. We've been through 2 of them. We bought one when we first bought this house, and then we bought another one several years later. So I don't want to get rid of the couch. That was something that those of you some of you had suggested as well. There's a few things that was suggested that I don't want to do, but a lot of it was great advice. So thank you guys very, very much for the input. I always appreciate, you know, y'all's opinions and stuff. And I'm just going to go from there and hope that, I mean, we're going to be in this house. I definitely want to get through school, and I still have 20 months left of school. I'm set to graduate August of 2021. So I still have a little while to go, and I want to for sure get through school, take my boards, graduate before we even consider getting a house. And so if we can make this house work in some fashion, I won't feel like I want to get out of it so quickly, because it's our first home. I love it. We just outgrew it pretty quickly. And I mean, not really. We've been in here a decade, 10.5 years, but I feel like now we're to the point where we're at capacity. So we'll see how it goes. I also have considered moving the chair up to Everly's room, Everly and Autumn's room, if Autumn and Everly do not do well sleeping together. I'm a little concerned about them sleeping together in the same room as far as like Autumn. If Everly happens, we're not planning to put her in the room to sleep until she's sleeping through the night faithfully, because I don't want them to wake each other up. But I'm more concerned of like the morning time, if they're on different schedules, putting them in the same room, whereas like Maddie and Autumn are on very similar schedules. I think they maybe would do better being bunked up, and we had considered that before too. So we'll see. It's all kind of up in the air right now. I kind of am just going to take the next several months to play it out and see how it goes before I make any long-term decisions about who bunks with who. Right now I have it with Autumn and Everly in the same room, and I'm hoping it works out like that, because I do feel like Maddie and Emmy, because they're the oldest, deserve their own rooms. But if it doesn't work out, Autumn will go with Maddie for the time being, and Everly will end up with her own room. So we'll see. Maybe I should just do my homework before she actually wakes up, because I can kind of hear her like,
My apologies. I couldn't hear what you said.
I wasn't talking to you. Anyway, let me work on this assignment. I will see you guys hopefully if I finish.